What's up guys, it is Chris back with another watch video, and today we're doing a little bit of a comparison slash watch review. This is the Solas, a new watch from a new micro brand, and there are some very interesting details on this watch, and there's another watch lurking in the background, and we'll pull that watch in later on in the video, and there is a few different reasons why. Before I get into it though, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, helps me bring you watches like this Solas, a very interesting watch, and I like to bring you guys new watches on a regular basis, so please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. As I mentioned, it is super helpful. Anyway, getting right into it, the Solas, this is the Starlight. You can see it has an Aventurine dial. Aventurine is basically a glass dial. It's sort of a glass enamel, and then they add fleck into that, metal fleck, so it looks like the night sky. That's why they're calling this the Starlight. This is a 38mm case, 44mm lug to lug, 9.7mm width. So that's the first little hint at why this watch is special. Besides that dial, which I think is special, there is the Micro-rotor movement, which you can see from the back. Now you're getting a sapphire crystal front and back on this watch, and the sapphire crystal in the back is very important because you get to see this, the Micro-rotor movement. This is a Hangzhou 5000A, which is a Micro-rotor movement. Now it's automatic, and now I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Micro-rotors. You might be, because I have reviewed a Micro-rotor movement on my channel before, and that is my watch that's sitting right here below. This is my Roger Dubuis, and this gets a Micro-rotor movement. Now, the reason why I have this watch here is because you guys know I like to do comparisons, and I like to compare watches that are very similar, very different price ranges. So this originally, when it retailed, was $30,000. This currently on the Kickstarter will be 329 euro, which comes out to around $390 US. And you can see the movements actually have a very similar structure. Obviously, the Roger Dubuis has really good finishing, beveled edges, and this is called the homage. This was actually an homage to the days that Roger Dubuis spent at Patek Philippe. And you can see the rotor on the Roger Dubuis is actually made out of 22 karat white gold. This has a stainless steel plated movement, the Solas, and it is also smaller on the Roger Dubuis. So there are definitely a lot of differences between the watches, but the basics on these watches are very similar. The movements are both Micro-rotor movements. They are very similar architecture. Obviously, one is Chinese made, Hangzhou, and one is made in-house, Roger Dubuis. This is the first time they're using this watch in a micro brand watch. And obviously the Roger Dubuis is only used in Roger Dubuis. This is a watch that has been discontinued, and this is a watch that is actually coming up right now on Kickstarter. So on the dial side, there are some similarities, even though the watches are extremely different. There are some similarities. We have applied indices. We have a small seconds, a petite seconds at 9 o'clock. We have it at 8 o'clock, or between 8 and 7 on the Solas. We have very similarly polished indices and sword hands on both of them, sort of. And that's where the similarities end. Obviously, there's a texturing on the Roger Dubuis dial. The Roger Dubuis is a beautiful watch, has these beautiful indices, and the dial itself is made out of white gold. So a lot of differences between the two watches, and even the stainless steel version of this watch sells for about $10,000 on the used market. So really, that's where the similarities end. But I will bring this back in for a wrist check so you guys can see it on my wrist, and I'll also put a link to the review that I did of this watch. I've had this watch for about, I don't know, about 10 years. I love that watch. I wear it sparingly. Obviously, it's a special watch. It's made out of gold, so I don't wear it on a very regular basis. But this is a pretty cool watch that is obviously a Micro-rotor. So it's something you can actually wear on a daily basis, and it's a very good price, $388, almost 1% of the price of that Roger Dubuis that I just had on screen. So a very interesting offering from a micro brand watch. So there are a few things on the watch that I find a little bit that needs maybe improving, I would say. But really nothing that's a deal breaker here. So the crown itself is a little generic, a little bit small. I wish it was a little bit bigger, like the one you get on this Roger Dubuis. It gets a large, nice crown on here. Even for a dress watch, I think dress watches should get slightly larger crowns. It's just a functionality issue. It's easier to actually change the time and wind the watch if you want to. I think it makes sense to put a larger crown. Number one, it does have a generic case, which is fine for this watch because you are getting the Aventurine dial. I don't think they should really make it too much more flashy. That's a very flashy dial in and of itself. I think it's the strap. The strap is made in Ireland. The movement's also regulated in Ireland, but it's kind of cheap feeling. The buckle is really cheap feeling. And I think that they should put a tang buckle on here because, like I said, I'm bringing the Roger Dubuis back again. You could just turn it over and look at the movement. And part of the reason why you want a micro-rotor movement is because you can see it. It looks good. And it just is really cool. The point is because they want you to see more of the actual movement. And in this case, you have to actually move the strap aside. And the point of having a micro-rotor movement is that you could see more of the movement. It's thinner. And that's really the two reasons. It's not a hand-wound movement. A hand-wound movement, you get to see everything. But this watch, you don't need to hand-wind. It automatically winds itself. And that's like getting best of both worlds, of a mechanical movement, a hand-wound mechanical movement, and an automatic movement. That's really the point behind it. And also the benefits of a hand-wound movement, the thinness. So you put this buckle on here, and it just reminds you that this is not an expensive watch. It's like a very cheap buckle on here. It doesn't feel good. It feels kind of chintzy and cheap, and I think that they should definitely do away with it. But very quickly, I'm going to throw it on my wrist. I'll throw the Roger Dubuis as well. Today I am wearing the Bulova chronograph, surfboard chronograph, and this was lent to me by the brand. It is an amazing chronograph, a limited edition, very limited, of 250 pieces. And I'm going to be doing a full unboxing. The presentation box that this comes in is incredible. I'm going to have to like zoom out. It's huge. So very quickly, the Solas Starlight on my 7.5 inch wrist. So this will wear very comfortably because of those dimensions: 38 millimeters, 44 millimeters lug to lug, 9.7 millimeters thickness. And you can see that strap, like I said, it just lets it down a little bit. It's not a deal breaker. If I were to buy this watch, $388, I would just buy another strap from someplace like Vario, throw a strap on here with a tang buckle, and we're done. But I would really, if I had a recommendation here and just my opinion, I would tell Solas to also offer this with a tang buckle that's signed similarly to the one you have here, and that's it. And give you the option whether or not you want that. I could live with the strap. I probably would change out the buckle no matter what. So that's the Solas on my wrist. You can see my 7.5 inch wrist. This wears really nicely. 38 millimeters. Very nice. I'm just going to throw this on my wrist. I'm not going to buckle it up. But you could see the homage from Roger Dubuis. Just a beautiful watch. You can see the profile there. The dial just lights up in different lighting. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And that strap, rose gold case, just an incredible, exceptional watch from Roger Dubuis. Not an incredible popular watch, and Roger Dubuis gets a lot of hate on the secondary market, and there's really no reason why. But you get a lot, and the point of the reason why I have that Roger Dubuis and I keep on bringing it in is because you're getting a lot of value in micro brands, and I like to point that out. And it's part of what I do on this channel, part of what I point out on this channel. You're getting that micro-rotor movement in this watch. You're getting an Aventurine dial. You're getting a pretty generic case on this watch, but you're getting a lot of that style because of that thin case, that 9.7 millimeters, and that beautiful Aventurine dial. You're getting a lot of style for the money, and you're also getting a lot of functionality, and you're getting something that when you take the watch off, it's as beautiful on the underside as it is on the top side. Now, the finishing under here, and I'm going to do close-ups of all of this, the finishing on this movement is, obviously not going to be up to par with something like a Roger Dubuis, but it's not terrible. It's not, great, but it's not terrible. And again, I bring up the price, $388, I think is the exchange rate, $390. What an incredible price for a very, very interesting watch. And a very nicely proportioned watch with a very nice dial. So really, in conclusion, I really do like this watch, and I hope that they use this movement in other watches like a dive watch or a field watch. A lot of micro brands start out that way. They come out with a dive watch first. They've gone a different direction. They've done a dress watch. I hope that they come out with a dive watch with this same movement, maybe 200 meters on a bracelet. This would be amazing. Definitely put a sapphire crystal on the back so you could see that movement. It's very important, especially if you're using this micro-rotor movement. This movement is something very cool, and I hope that other brands start using this movement. So yeah, definitely tell me what you think of this watch in the comments below. I really want to hear what you guys think. Obviously, I think it's very cool. They let me in this watch. I have to send it back out to the next reviewer. So I don't have much more time with it. However, what a really cool offering from a new micro brand. Definitely tell me what you think in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for me to bring you watches like this. If you hit that bell icon and hit that like button, helps people find these videos and helps me bring more watches to you guys that hopefully you find interesting. Please also follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of the watches that are coming up on the channel for review on Instagram, so definitely follow me there. Also, I have some links in the description below. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra or interrupt your Prime benefits. So please do that if you can. Thank you for logging on, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.